Maniacs, welcome back to the channel, your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into another couple videos. I actually have a couple planned out for this one. We're actually going to be watching the first video, which is Goodbye YouTube. This is from a channel called Watchers. Now, I used to think there was a channel called BuzzFeed Unsolved, and these guys would collaborate with them, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I truly thought there was another channel that these guys were a part of, that they would go out and do paranormal investigations. I've reacted to like one or two of their paranormal investigations, and I really like the guys. I really did. These guys right now are being shat on quite a bit for a decision that was made within this video. And people have been asking me, what are your thoughts on this? They're always mentioning, have you checked this video out, and what do you think? And I'm going to go ahead and check it out and tell you guys what I think. I just don't know what's going on. Obviously, this is not a rare thing anymore. There's a lot of older channels that are starting to leave YouTube, so I'm just assuming that's what they're doing. If they're calling the video called Goodbye YouTube, I'm just assuming that they plan on leaving this platform, which, I wish them nothing but the best of luck, obviously. I mean, that's all you can do, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into the video. If you guys have anything else that you want to say to me or leave a comment in the comment section, of course, you are allowed to do so. Just keep it respectful and classy. And I want to go ahead and say this before we get started. This eye is swollen. And you're probably wondering what the hell happened that caused your eye to get swollen. I did not get in a fist fight. I did not get shot with a Nerf gun. I have allergies. A lot less cool, but it's the truth. I have allergies, and they've been bothering me, which is one of the reasons why I have not been filming a whole lot of videos these past few days, struggling to pay attention because my eyes are bothering me. So I just been kind of holding back a little bit. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into the video, and I'll give you guys my thoughts during and, of course, after the video. Hollywood. Watcher headquarters. Alrighty. Yeah, I've seen these guys before.
As it is to say goodbye to YouTube, it's the right thing to do.
If this is my last time on YouTube, then baby, what a life I've lived here on this platform.
Ryan and Shane, right, are the names of these guys, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I wanted to turn it up a little more. Ryan and Shane are the names of these guys, I'm pretty sure, yeah. This guy is more of the skeptic, and the guy who actually tries to debunk stuff, from what I can remember, and the other guy is actually a believer in the paranormal.
Form.
I grew up on YouTube. All of my heroes were on YouTube. I learned how to be a human on YouTube. Taking a step away from it, it's just tough because I've always really loved and cared about the YouTube community, so it's hard to leave.
My name is Ryan Steven Bergara, and I'm part of Advanced Video Production.
Hello, I'm Professor Morris Ashley. Welcome to another exciting episode of Extreme Science.
I had no idea what to do for my intro. Please don't stop watching. Please.
My first YouTube video that I ever made was in 2012.
And that, my friends, is how you will become the most baller in your city.
2013 for me. I posted my first video back in 2013 to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure, and I was cringe. At least these guys had talent, and they were likable. I was certainly not. I was not that kind of guy. No way.
It's so embarrassing. But I think it really encapsulates early YouTube, which is this like unfettered joy of just making and creating something that was in your head and sharing it with the world.
I just remember from like a young age, it was a way for me to feel like I had a purpose, or it was a way for me to find self-esteem. I guess when I'm making
I'm that
things,
way
it's
now,
when
man.
I feel the most alive, and I think that's carried over into my adult life. And in a lot of ways, sometimes I look back and it feels like I haven't really even grown up. And I'm sure if you ask people about that, they probably would agree with me, that I have not grown up.
I went to Northern Illinois University for 2 years because it felt very selfish and weird to want to go into film. And I was like, I gotta do something responsible. I can't just do something that is fun. And then after 2 years of that, I was like, I'm really sad and I really don't, I was like, I guess it's worth maybe pursuing my, creative ambitions. So then I went to Columbia College in Chicago and studied editing. But even before that, when I was at Northern, I was still making a bunch of dumb little videos. Plenty of dumb little videos.
Myself, Shane, Steven, we all came from BuzzFeed. It was kind of like the
That's right,
formative
yep.
years of our creative process.
I didn't really know how to make a video. I didn't know virality. I didn't understand the internet that well. So BuzzFeed for me was like college.
So these guys, I guess, are they still a part of BuzzFeed, or are they leaving BuzzFeed too? I'm assuming they're leaving everything on YouTube, Watchers and BuzzFeed Unsolved, because they're talking like they're not going to be a part of it anymore. Just this platform in general. It's kind of sad to see him go. Again, I've watched a couple of their videos. I really liked the personalities. I liked what they were bringing to the table, even more now so than ever. But yeah, this is surprising.
I'm there. I was never very good at sort of chasing like viral stuff. The stuff that I did find success with was stuff that I was very passionate about. And that was kind of hit or miss, you know?
Yeah, we were working crazy hours trying to get the next cool hit video out, trying to make the next big thing, and that was the culture there. It was fun, but also intense.
Steven and myself made something called Worth It and Unsolved, respectively.
That was when I went from like, oh, there's that Asian kid in the BuzzFeed video, to like, oh, that's Steven Lim. That's like the guy who hosts Worth It.
Luckily, I was, roped into Unsolved, and
Roped
was
in.
able to be in that.
There was a fire in all three.
Well, it doesn't sound like he was too enthusiastic about it, man. Even if you were like the skeptic and you didn't believe none of it, it would be still kind of a cool thing to go out and do this stuff. I mean, to each of their own. Obviously, I'm not saying he had to enjoy it, but it didn't seem like he was all for that specifically.
Plus, we had something to prove. We had a passion for making content and making it to a certain level of quality that would perhaps punch above its weight. And so we figured, okay, if we could make something for BuzzFeed that's like that, why couldn't we not bet on ourselves and then perhaps do the same thing at our own little shop? When the three of us huddled together around my little kitchen table in my apartment, we kind of wrote down the mission statement of just, we want to make a studio or a platform where we could make unscripted television caliber content on the internet. And to that point, nobody had quite done that. Full-blown developed shows had not been kind of a thing on YouTube to that point. Especially when we first started Unsolved and Worth It, and we wanted to continue that trend over here at Watcher.
I think the philosophy of Watcher is us very earnestly exploring something without much irony. Granted, when we're doing our ghost hunts, it's a jokey channel, but I think underneath it all, there's like a genuine interest in stuff and a passion for exploring, the stuff that we're interested in.
I'm so proud of what we've built here at Watcher.
I want to quickly apologize for what I said then. It seemed like there was an interest in there, so my apologies to, I think, Shane.
My proudest moments have been being able to hire incredible people. And so growing our staff from 3 to 6 to 10 to 20 to 25. I'm proud of the fans and the community that we've fostered.
Maybe that's the best part. The tangible effect of it is like you're out in public and people are like, hey, wow, we watched a lot of your content during a tough time and it really helped us. And that's always really nice. Especially when we do our live shows, you notice that it's very fascinating. The audience that we've attracted are also weirdos in the most positive sense.
I'm very happy with the progress that we've made over here at Watcher over these past 4.5 years, but it feels like we are just at the point where we've hit a bit of a ceiling in terms of what YouTube is able to offer.
More than 50% of our business is run by advertising. We are reliant on ads to make money, to pay the bills, to run this office.
I'm certainly not. I am certainly not. I make barely anything off of monetization because I react to other people's content and I give my thoughts. I do commentaries on people's content. I can't rely on monetization because I just don't make my own original content. I want to at some point. I mean, that's the plan, is to go out and make my own original content, go to paranormal locations and do all that stuff at some point in the future.
To make beautiful content for all of you guys out there. Unfortunately, over time, the deals that we were getting in 2019, 2020 are looking a lot different than they are today. We're making something for two audiences. We're making it for the fans, all of you out there, and we're also making it to please the advertisers. It's difficult to make the stuff that we want to make and also then appeal to the advertisers as well.
It costs a certain amount to make content in the way that we do it. We try to put things on the screen that we feel adheres to a certain level of quality that you would find on, say, a Netflix or something like that. But in doing so, it does cost a certain amount. Like, for example, a Ghost Files episode. First, we have to travel to the location itself. We have to pay the location fee. We have to pay freelance staff that comes to help us shoot that when we're shooting in the studio. We have to pay for the studio to shoot the actual episode in. Then we have to pay for post. Before that, we also have to do the pre-production of the episode. And when you add that all up, we're talking about an end of a season that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Sitting here complaining that is the bed we've made. Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, you know, over time, you start to realize, like, hey, maybe television shows aren't meant for YouTube. Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making and can support the dollar amounts that we're putting into each of these episodes so that we're not constantly running around trying to find sources of revenue to support the model.
We work from the other direction here, which is like, we start first by looking at what we want to say and think about and talk about, and that's always informed our content, which is why I think our content doesn't necessarily always like trend. We've trended quite a few times, okay? But that's never, you know, that's never our goal. And I think by that token, YouTube has never been like the perfect fit for us.
All that being said, we have realized.
But you guys have done amazing on YouTube. Better than most. Better than me and better than, yeah, most people. I almost said I would kill. I would dream for a position like you guys right now. I would love to have a position like that, but there's just no way. I'm not near the level of as talented. I'm just not. I'm not going out there and making my own original content. Maybe someday I will, but that's just not me. And you guys are just killing it on YouTube.
That it would be great if we could find a way to rely less on advertising, not make it such a big part of our business. So we've been working over the past few months and years, like, how can we make this business more sustainable? How can we make something where we can make the things that we want to make for all of you guys and not be worried about all the other forces that are here? In terms of where this company is going and where I believe that we can be the most successful, YouTube is no longer the place for that.
For anybody who's watched or supported us to this point, truly, thank you. The goal was always to make television caliber quality content. And not just for YouTube, but for you guys. I guess we just hope you guys follow us this one last time.
Okay. Sorry about that late reply.
To our very own independent streaming service, Watcher. Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love. But you're probably wondering, how is it going to be different than the YouTube experience?
The new streamer, I think, is a place that reflects what our content is. High quality series in season form.
Okay, so they really are making their own Netflix, it looks like. They're really making their own streaming service. It seems like, with all these different shows on it. Interesting.
Ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
First of all, bigger and better content.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to improve Ghost Files. I mean, I'm very happy with how the show has been, produced so far, but the streamer's gonna give us an opportunity to really add to it from a format standpoint, but we'll also be able to take bigger swings and go international, like we're going to the UK and we're going to Scotland. Also, the more resources we have, the more time we could focus on making the show better, and every season of that show, I want it to be better than the last, and I'm very excited for season 3, which you guys will see on the streamer.
The advent of this streamer has allowed me to bring the gang back together.
That's true.
Adam,
your pals.
Andrew, the old friends from Worth It, and we're going to be launching the spiritual successor, which is going to be called Travel Season.
Are you excited to work with Steven again?
Yeah. After 12 seasons of Worth It, it feels great to make something that is very similar and based on a lot of those experiences, but we get to dispense with all the stuff that we don't like.
So if you want to catch that, you can watch it on May 31st. It's going to be a full 6-episode season, and you can watch it all, if you remember, on the streamer.
And not only will there be new, fresh shows, we're going to put it up to the members to resurrect a show from the past. There are a lot of shows that maybe didn't do phenomenally on YouTube that would be performing perfectly fine on a streamer.
What a weird, wonderful idea.
What a weird, wonderful idea that would be.
I'm excited about the prospect of bringing on some new talent, some new faces, and making content around them. And, you know, being able to shape some shows that don't always involve us is something I'm really excited about. And, you know, we get to maybe bring back a little blue guy.
When it comes down to it, end of the day, why not? That should be our slogan. Why not?
I mean, yeah, I imagine he'll pop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
That's fair. But, you know, all this to say, you'll still occasionally see us on YouTube. We're going to post trailers for our shows there. We're going to have the season premieres of all of our series on there. But if you want to watch the full seasons of all of our content, the streamer will be the exclusive home for all of that starting May 31st.
Steven, talk about money.
Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
And look, you can share it, you know, with your friends.
That's true.
What are we gonna do?
Keep your eyes glued on all of our social channels. We'll be announcing some sweet opportunities to win merch, a free annual subscription, and a bunch of other wacky stuff from us. For those of you that sign up before May 31st, because we are going to have a little bit of a beta period, which will be launching today, actually.
Right now, you can sign up right now.
As of today, the release of this video, April 19th.
Think of this beta period as a soft launch, an opportunity for early adopters to sign up, help us work out the kinks, and provide feedback to make it a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, the beta will be a transition
I'll say
period
what I
where
want to
you'll
say
still
after
be able
this.
to access content on YouTube, but beginning May 31st, you'll need to become a member of our streaming service to access full seasons and new releases.
And as a thank you to our first members, those that sign up before May 31st will have the opportunity to vote to bring back your favorite show. And not only that, but we're giving members who sign up before May 31st a whole 30% off their annual subscription.
So if you want to become a member right now, you can actually go to our description. You can click on the link somewhere in the video, but it's just watchyourtv.com. Super easy.
That's right. WatchYourTV.com.
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 Watch your TV.
Watch your TV.
Watch your TV. Watch Watcher on your TV.
WatchYourTV.com.
In all seriousness, we really couldn't be more excited for you guys to join us on this next chapter, hopefully. We'd love for you
Yeah,
guys
that's the
to
key
come along
word
with
right
us.
there.
But at the same time, this is our final goodbye to YouTube.
You might regret that, actually. And I understand that you want to have more creative liberties and whatnot for your own kind of stuff, and I completely understand that. But you guys are insanely smart people, so I really don't want to sit here and talk down like I'm trying to be smarter than you, because obviously I'm not. But here's what I see when I see this, and I'm beginning to understand why there's a lot of people annoyed about this. I'm beginning to see it. I'm gonna let the video finish. Only a minute left, so.
To you, I hope it's not, but if it is, I do want to say thank you for supporting us all along the way.
Your viewership has allowed us to do all these wonderful things that we've done these past 4 years, and we hope that you'll come along for the ride.
And help us continue to build.
Yeah.
Build this thing out even bigger. That's the hope, at least. But either way, it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. No, it was like the message there was sweet. I think they obviously have a lot of appreciation for their audiences. Here's the thing, though, about this video, and this is something that I noticed, and it struck me immediately the second I started seeing the $5.99 a month. And look, the reason why YouTube works for a lot of people is because there's just ads on it, right? But it's free. Everything is free for the most part, unless you have like extra content you want to release. Like for me, when I have Patreon members, I post full-length reactions for like TV shows and movies and things like that. So that much. I would say the most I have on there is like $4.99 a month. Yeah, that's the most that I have on there. It's not even $5, and then there's like $1.99 a month on Patreon, and or like $1. No, it's $1.99 on members, $1 on Patreon a month. So like $12 a year, and they get all these different TV show reactions, full uncut stuff like that, exclusive content that nobody can get on YouTube or our members. Here's the thing: you're switching all this stuff that used to be free on YouTube over to a $5.99 streaming service. To the people who have been supporting you for the past 4 years, I can understand why this, I don't want to use the term backstab, but I can see why a lot of people might feel this is a giant spit in the face. Because they've been supporting you for so long, right? Whether it's members or whatever you had, or just being a supporter for the past 4 years now, they've been supporting you for so long to pretty much be told that if you want to continue being our fans and supporting us, you have to pay $5.99 a month. To the people who probably don't even have that money, it's an option, right? That's the thing. It's an option. If you want the extra content, you can pay monthly. If you don't, that's completely fine. But I still have content for you. You know, you can still watch me do my thing. But you guys are pretty much saying that the only time you're ever going to be on YouTube now is when you are promoting your new streaming service. I can understand why there's a lot of annoyed people right now. Yeah, it does seem like, you know, the only way you can be a fan is if you pay monthly now. You actually have to pay money out of your pocket to be a fan of ours anymore. I can't really sit here and defend it. I mean, I get it. I do. That's like if I were to watch one of my favorite content creators of all time, Nostalgia Critic, for example. Let's say Nostalgia Critic all of a sudden came out with a video tomorrow and said, so if you guys want to continue watching Nostalgia Critic videos, you have to pay $3.99 a month, $1.99 a month to continue watching my Nostalgia Critic videos. No more, I will not be on YouTube anymore, but you have to pay monthly now to continue watching my content and be a supporter of mine. And I think it would still be the same kind of concept, right? And I'm just using Nostalgia Critic as an example, but Nostalgia Critic is still somebody who definitely still posts what he wants to post on his YouTube channel and still makes monetization money and whatnot. So he's doing fine. You know, he has sponsors. He's doing great. He's doing great. You know, all these channels are doing great. But now you're kind of being put on in that situation as, you know, BuzzFeed Unsolved fans or Ghost Files fans or whatever you have you. Now you're kind of being asked to pay $5.99 a month or $60 a year to continue watching some of your favorite content creators. I'm going to go ahead and watch the Coffeezilla video now because Coffeezilla did make a post. I'm wondering if he agrees with me or disagrees with me. What is his point of view on this? I'm curious to know his thoughts, so we're going to go ahead and dive into that video right now. This is by Voidzilla, by the way. Go support the original video, and I'm a big fan of Coffeezilla, one of my favorite content creators out there. Love this guy. Let's see what he has to say about this.
I like to study YouTuber mistakes. I think it's for the same reason that people watch true crime. You know, they say that some people watch it because they're trying to avoid being, you know, a victim themselves of these, you know, killings and things like that. They say, if I just watch enough of it, I won't make that error. I won't be in that situation. I feel that way about big YouTuber mistakes. I'm like, if I study these,
yeah, you might not make that mistake.
Guys, I won't make a big dumb decision. Whether that's going to work out for me, we'll find out. But today we're talking about Watcher. Speaking of true crime, by the way, they're a famous true crime duo, or at least started and spawned by a true crime duo. If you've never heard of this channel, you've probably heard of their predecessor, BuzzFeed Unsolved. This was the hottest stuff back in the day, back when all the, you know, production quality was garbage tier. A true crime show came out that was really awesome. So I fell in love with these guys a long time ago. To be honest, I didn't even know they left BuzzFeed, I guess, to start this.
No, I didn't either.
Or Watcher, new YouTube channel. They've been really.
Yeah, that was news to me. Actually, getting into this was news to me. I didn't even realize they left BuzzFeed Unsolved and did their own stuff. Yeah.
Really successful, 3 million subscribers. I didn't really follow them over there. I didn't really know they had moved, but they've done quite well for themselves. They get about 1 million views a video, and recently they released this video called Goodbye YouTube, which is why we're here today. Now, people are furious about this video, which essentially boils down to they are paywalling all of their content for $6 a month, and that's the only way you can see their new shows is by paying $6 a month. You know, the shows that were previously free. And the reasons, you know, they say that they need to be paid this is reasons that, honestly, I'm a little bit sympathetic to. They say, look, we're beholden to ads. I get it. They want to make better shows, higher production. I get it. They say, look, it's hard to make high-quality stuff. I get it. So why did it miss the mark so badly with...
I think it's because they started out on YouTube and now are completely doing a 180 saying if you want to continue watching our stuff, you got to pay monthly. I think that is the personal reason why. One of those things to where it's like, oh, you know, you've been watching me for 4 years. Well, too bad. Now you have to pay me money. I agree with Coffeezilla. I understand that you want to have more of a free roam. You want to be able to do your own stuff, and you want to be able to have the money to cover it. I get that. I'm not saying I don't understand. I myself, yes, I do post my Patreon every once in a while because I want people to know that there are ways you can support my channel, since I don't make a lot off of monetization. In general, I just don't. I don't want to, like, rip out the content that they're watching and enjoying from me and then say start paying me monthly if you want to see more content. I'm not going to do that. I have, exclusive stuff, but yeah, it's not the same situation. I'm not like taking away their content, the free content they're getting from me, and then just completely expecting them to pay monthly for reactions.
Their audience that not only are people not moving over, their Patreon, which they had a Patreon as well at the time of this video being released, asking for everyone to move to a new service. Now they're unsubscribing, so I think they're losing money all around. It's been a colossal disaster.
Holy
the
shit.
Comments are horrific. So I think it's for a few reasons. So starting, number one, the tone of this thing is like, we love YouTube. We love you. We love you guys.
We're
We
so
love you
thankful.
guys.
Yeah.
You guys carried us here. We couldn't have done it without you. But the actual video is, we're taking all our content and taking it away from you unless you pay us. That's essentially, this is not a behind the scenes or behind a paywall. This is not support us if you want. This is, if you want to see the thing that you have supported to get us to this moment, now you have to pay.
Yeah.
And,
and again, with my situation and how I do it, this is an option. If you want to get extra content, there's an option. If you don't, it's okay. I still post here on YouTube. You guys can watch the reactions no matter what. And with this, it's like, give us back our content, and now if you want to see this again, you got to pay us. Yeah, he's right. He's right. Spot on.
If you don't pay, well,
too bad.
See you later.
Yeah, too bad.
Now, the way they're framing all of this is that they're not just, you're not just paying for a YouTube channel. You're paying for a whole network.
Like
and
Netflix.
They literally use the analogy of Netflix.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, if you do, like, the value numbers, Netflix is a way better deal. And they're like, look, we made it affordable. It's $6 a month. Anyone can afford this. But I don't think they're taking into account that everyone has to, like, weigh this a YouTube channel, now going premium versus all the shows on Netflix. Or
movies.
All their other subscriber bundles, which pissed people off when they said, like, oh, anyone can afford it.
Steven, talk about money.
Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense.
Now, when a lot of people were talking about this, they were saying, not everyone has $6 lying around. And I think that's true.
There's truth to that.
Like cases of, a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. But I even think for people who have some money laying around, like they have $6 lying around. The problem is you're tearing yourself with these other platforms, and like now you're forcing me as a consumer to make a decision of, am I keeping
Netflix or Hulu
or you? And if you are some guys on YouTube that I liked to watch for free, that math doesn't really add up. Like this decision was so...
I see what he's saying. Like, you watch these guys for free for so many years. And that was your go-to, like, comfort thing or whatever have you. And then you usually pay monthly for Disney Plus, Netflix, or whatever you want to go for because you liked watching those shows and you were willing to pay the money. But now you're being asked, are you going to keep the shows that you're okay with paying money for over keeping the channel that you were already used to being free, right? I mean, like, now you have to choose. Do you want to keep Netflix or do you want to watch us? It's up to you now. Like, you got to make that choice. If you hot potato, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Especially if you don't have the money to spare.
So poorly conceived. I think I know how they got to it, which is that they have a successful Patreon, which we need to talk about. So they have that, and they think, oh, if we could just get like 5 times the subscriber base, which I think they have like 6,000 patrons, paying an average of like $5 to $20.
I got 46.
Which is a lot. So they thought, oh, well, we'll just like make it's like Patreon Plus, but it's not. But it's not though. Patreon was people supporting an indie studio that gives them free stuff already. Streaming service is like you're putting yourself in a different product tier. You see what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
No, it does.
When
it
you
does.
just pitch yourself like, oh, we're a network now. We're a streamer now. It's like, okay, well, let's see what you got, streamer. What shows? What Emmy award-winning shows? What movies do you have for me? Oh, you're still...
Yeah, you're trying to compete with things like fucking Oppenheimer and Wonka on Max for shows that used to be free. Yeah, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to be that same level. And then new stuff continuously comes onto these streaming services that people are just, yeah, there was not a lot of thought put into this. And he makes a good point about the Patreon. I wasn't even thinking about that. They had 6,000 patrons, which, oh my God. I don't know how much they were charging monthly for Patreon, but they were making buttloads of money. Even off the monetization off YouTube, they were making loads and loads of money. Probably more money than they will ever make off a streaming service. And they probably thought, oh, since we had like 6,000 supporters over here, if we come out with a streaming service, you know, everybody loves streaming services, people are just going to hop on in and be a part of it. And that's just not the case. That's just, unfortunately, not everybody works like that. People have to go with what they can afford and what they have the time for. And if they're being charged monthly for something they might not even be able to catch all the time now, what's the point?
Producing YouTube? That's the issue. Now, I also signed up for their Patreon because I wanted to see sort of what they were promising, what they were offering there, and how people were generally taking it, because usually your Patreon is people who are more plugged in with your content, people who are kind of like hardcore fans.
Yep.
So you can really get a litmus test, because the YouTube comment section, all negative. Like, everyone hates this. The Patreon also hates it, but hates it even more.
No shit.
Turns out,
no shit.
People don't like supporting a YouTube channel only to be told, you have to go pay somewhere else. And oh, by the way, we're not going to give you a free subscription to our streamer, even if you've paid an annual subscription over on Patreon. So let me explain this. People have like paid to support annually on Patreon. These guys, Watcher, you can pay like, I forget what it is, for $5 a month. Like, I guess that's $60 a year. So they pay $60. Then halfway through their subscription, they get told, no more videos on YouTube. We're gonna put the videos on this streaming service.
And now you gotta pay for the streaming service.
Unless you go also subscribe to that. And by the
that's
way,
that's like $120 right there. Oh my God, I feel so bad for those patrons.
Get this, and they're like, I could not believe this when I heard it. I don't think they're shutting down the Patreon. They're moving to the streamer, keeping the Patreon paywall. They're just like putting a podcast behind it. They have an $100 a month tier on the Patreon. And they're doing a streaming service. Look, I have a Patreon, okay? I'm not trying to hate. But you can't dip your hand in every pot. You have to choose. You do. You do have to choose. If you're going to do a streamer, Netflix doesn't have a Patreon account, right? What if Netflix had
like
100?
I have a membership and a Patreon. I have a membership and a Patreon. Some people can't become members. Like if they have an iPhone, they don't let them log in and join. So I normally say, hey, if you don't want to do that, you know, I got a Patreon. You can go over there. It's actually cheaper. I would make it $1 over on YouTube for members, but unfortunately they don't go down that low. It's literally $1.99 to $1 a month. $2 a month for like extra content. And patrons and members get the same exact content. So there's really not missing a whole lot. Besides, you know, the extra use of like stickers and emojis and stuff that I post on members. I can't do that for Patreon, unfortunately. At least I don't think I can. That'd be awesome if I can. And for content that, again, used to be free. And now these people who are over on Patreon now have to be expected to pay even more money because they want to do more. But these guys, I think, were already doing very well with money as is. I understand you want to make more money to do what you need to, but like now you're asking for even more money on top of everything else. It's like you can't expect all of that from everybody. Like, you can't. Yeah, it's going to backfire on them, and that's unfortunate because they don't seem like bad people. They don't seem like this was their intent, but I could see it backfiring.
$100 tier for their Patreon. And this is the problem. When you go and you call yourself a streamer now, well, okay, you're a streamer. Let's, that's just a different thing. That's what I'm saying. Framing was like so important. And I think there was the wrong person was in the room with these guys, because I don't know, some of these guys don't seem like they could have come up with this. They seem like just like regular creatives. This sounds like a business dude, a suits decision to pull off this, move to a streamer. And I want to point out something people haven't been talking about, which is the language they use to talk about their website. Because I think it shows the infection of like Silicon Valley bro thinking.
Think of this beta period as a soft launch, an opportunity for early adopters to sign up, help us work out the kinks, and provide feedback to make it a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, the beta.
Do y'all hear this? Beta test, soft launch, users, feedback, experience. These are not the words of a YouTube creator. This is the words of like a founder, somebody who calls themselves a founder on Instagram, right? This is a Silicon Valley bro. And that's the kind of thinking that gets you in trouble like this. You go from, making a few BuzzFeed unsolved videos to starting to say soft launch.
Yeah.
I think if there's anything we can take away from this, bad soft launch, fellas. That's my feedback. Bad soft launch. Now, to be honest, I don't want to like punish these guys. I mean, I like them. I like their content on BuzzFeed Unsolved. Now that I know they're on Watcher, well, I guess they're done making stuff on Watcher. But I would watch it there. I hope that they walk back this catastrophe.
They got time too. They got time to fix this. I think they should. I don't think this was their intent to come off this way. It's just a bad business move. It's just a bad move on their part. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, well, they're ripping people off like Logan Paul with CryptoZoo. It's not like that. It's just one of those situations where it's like, take a step back, look at the situation more, but it can be retracted. You can fix this. Just make a video saying, what, we're going to come back to YouTube. It was a big mistake on our part. We really regret this. Yada yada yada. It was just us trying to step forward with something different. Maybe move forward with something different, and we weren't thinking, and we apologize for that. And you could probably fix this real fast, unless they continue to go down this path, and in which case I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think they're going to have the success they've been wanting.
Fire the guy who used the word soft launch anywhere in their presence, because that guy's not doing you any favors. And just get back to producing content, and, like, people could support you on Patreon. You don't have to... I think paywalling everything is just what, pissed everyone off, because it feels like the YouTube audience that got you here, you're then asking to now just pay you. I don't know. It just feels really weird.
It's not right.
The other thing I should also mention is the audience they cultivated. So in the comments, what I noticed was a lot of the comments were talking about, you expected an audience that you fed with Eat the Rich and what's wrong with a little thievery to pay $6 a month for 4 videos. We love your creative liberty, but to be honest, you raise us better than this. So this is something that I was less aware of as somebody who didn't watch their current content. But apparently, their audience is sort of like they talk about, down with capitalism, eat the rich.
We'll put a stop to you. We'll get you yet. I mean, I do want to eat the rich. They taste good.
But I mean, sneakers, though.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of sneakers, this guy's rocking the Sakai Blazer lows, and I got...
Oh, hey. Yeah, that's weird. You go eat the rich and you go check out my cool shoes. But anyway, that's like also playing a factor in here why it's such a bad move. You didn't get an audience who were like, you got an audience where you said eat the rich all the time. That's going to be a problem when you kind of pull this and you go, $5.99. What's that to all our viewers? It's not.
You're really, yeah.
It's tough. And look, the one thing I do want to say is I always applaud people trying to step up the game and make better content. But there also is this idea among creators, especially YouTube creators, like more specifically, that throwing money at productions equals better experience and equals better content.
I don't think it's true.
Sometimes that's true. you know, and especially when you're starting out.
Maybe in certain cases it is true, because there are certain things that I would much prefer to have actual really good quality content. Like, let me calm my mind down a little bit. I do agree with that in a sense. Like, equipment-wise, if I want to go out and start doing paranormal investigations, I've already been talking about getting a better camera because I want decent quality. I don't want crappy quality. So that is understandable. Like, getting some better equipment, completely understandable. Better microphones, that's fine. Obviously, I'm not saying that. And, going out to certain locations and filming at certain places, that'd be fun. Obviously, but you don't need a shit ton of money, and you don't need to have a budget of $100,000 on a video to make good content. Most of the people who are there are probably not even watching for that alone. They're probably watching because they enjoy hearing what you have to say and what you like, what you talk about, and the personality that you bring on camera. It's not necessarily all about how much you can spend on a video and just surprise everybody. So it's not like these guys needed $100,000 on every single one of their videos. I think they were saying like that sometimes they spend over hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but it's not required, right?
And some cameras, whatever, get some lights, learn about lights.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes adding too much varnish,
it takes it away.
Takes away what people enjoyed about it in the first place.
Yep, exactly. I said the same thing about one of my favorite channels, actually, Sam and Colby. I'm always saying, for some reason, this is feeling more like a sci-fi channel now and like a Discovery Channel special or series than it does just the raw YouTube feeling that you would get when watching some of this content back in the day. It's kind of taking away from everything that they normally stood for and what they represented at their best. And it's 100% true. Yeah, there's certain channels, and that's one of the reasons why I love channels like Adam the Woo so much, is because that guy he's never changed. His videos have always remained the same. It's just him going around and filming stuff at certain locations. He hasn't added like crazy music. He hasn't added anything like that. He hasn't added special effects or anything like that. It's just a guy recording, and it actually makes his channel really charming and fun. I love that about Adam the Woo's channel. Like Nostalgia Critic, his channel hasn't really changed all that much. And those are the channels that I think will last the longest and the ones that will remain the strongest, in my personal opinion, because they don't change what made them special to begin with. When you start adding too much, it takes away from what really made you cool.
In fact, funny enough, I learned that lesson in The Void. Sorry, my ears are getting sweaty from these headphones, right? I made a nice set, nice production value. Long story short, my computer crashed, hard drive died, lost all the files, made some content here, and was shocked when people were like, yeah, we just like this. Just forget about all the nice stuff. I still like to make the high production stuff, but I realized like there is a place for, just talking to the camera. I think
it's just what I am.
Something is lost when you put too much production value on things. I think there's a place for both types of content. But the point is, these guys were like, oh, what we really need to be is television. We just have to be television. And it's like, yeah, but maybe that's not why we liked you guys, right? At least that's how I felt.
No, you're right.
There around my little kitchen table in my apartment, we kind of wrote down the mission statement of just, we want to make a studio or a platform where we could make unscripted television caliber content.
Yeah, see, they say television a lot. They say it multiple times.
Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, over time, you start to realize...
I'll be honest with you, some of the channels on YouTube are far better than most of the television shows I watch today. As a matter of fact, I don't really watch a lot of television. I watch YouTube because I just find way more enjoyment out of just the average day person making content. Yeah.
And maybe television shows aren't meant for YouTube. Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making. And
yeah, that statement right there is sort of, I think, why a lot of this reaction's happening. I think he's right. There are limits to what you can make on YouTube. But also, if you cultivate an audience on YouTube accustomed to free, and then you say, eat the rich, and then you paywall all your content, you can't be surprised when a lot of people are unhappy about that. Especially when the people who even are paying are being asked to double pay. These patrons are being asked to double pay. Like, that was the part that I really couldn't believe. I was like, this is actually beyond the pale. So yeah, people are... out of respect for them, I don't want to.
What you should have done was say, we're going to remove our Patreon, and then we're just going to have everything on the streaming platform. But the fact that they're keeping Patreon for the people to continue paying monthly, and then asking them to go over and, if you want to watch new content, pay for our streaming service is, yeah, not the right move.
Want to share the behind the scenes like Patreon stuff, but if you're behind the scenes there, the comment section is feisty. It is worse.
I'm curious to
than
know how
YouTube,
many
which
they have right now.
Saying a lot. By the way, I don't know if I said they're offering a 40% discount to their patrons. That's like that was the big offer. Is like you can get 40% off your new subscription here. Which, you know, I don't know.
What's the point?
All right. Well, anyway.
What's the point if you're not going to post the new content over there, right? What?
That's basically it. Just wanted to talk about this catastrophe. I wanted to extend the olive branch to these guys. If you're watching this, I think you can make it all right. I would walk this back. I'd pretend it didn't happen. I'd delete it. I'd delete that video right now and just go, oops, oops. No more using the word soft launch. We're going to just keep making the content everyone likes.
Even if they delete it, people are still going to remember it and still leave comments about it. So like no one's going to forget about what they said. I would probably keep the video up, but then I would go ahead and make another video saying, look, we made a mistake. That's what I would do.
I think everyone wants to see these guys succeed, but
they have succeeded. They're successful, but
streaming service from a YouTuber. Anyway, that's basically it. I'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Yeah, there's a reason why we're YouTubers and not streaming services, right? So that was the videos, guys. Yeah, I mean, basically we went over everything, I think. It's just a mess up. I think this can be fixed easily, and they should fix it while they still have the time to do it. This is still fresh, so they can fix it right now and go back to what they were doing. You guys were doing great. This is coming from somebody who has not reacted to and watched a whole lot of your content, but from what I saw, you guys were really likable, really fun dudes. Go back to that stuff. You don't have to... I can see why people are annoyed by this, but guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. What are your thoughts on all of this? What do you think personally? Are you upset? Are you pissed off? Were you one of the patrons? Were you one of the people who supported them monthly and now are just blown away? I'm curious to know your opinions down below. Leave a like, leave a subscription on my channel if you're new around here. Be sure to go support the original video by going down to the description below, and do take care.
JCARTS has your JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after me. If you caught a chance, JCARTSARTS is through. You won't be meant dead.